It is 6 p.m. here in Cairo. My name is Ahmed Nader, and now it's time for the news bulletin from Egypt, and we'll be starting straight away with the main headlines. President Fattah al-Sisi conducts an inspection visit to the Egyptian Military Academy. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati participates in the Contact Committee meeting on Palestine. And the Israeli occupation strikes killed at least 34 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. President Fattah al-Sisi said that the military academy is playing a great role in creating future leaders across different state institutions, praising the youth as hopefully the future builders. The president was speaking as he paid an inspection visit to the Egyptian Military Academy in the new administrative capital this morning. During the tour, President al-Sisi performed the dawn prayer with the students and followed up on their training activities before addressing them. President al-Sisi said that the economic and the security conditions are improving despite the regional challenges that led to $9 billion in Suez Canal revenue losses over the past 2 years. The head of state praised the increasing public awareness in Egypt, saying that it is the real reckoning basis in facing the regional developments. Over the situation in the Gaza Strip, President al-Sisi stressed Egypt's sincere and strong position, calling for ending the war, delivering humanitarian aid to the Palestinians, and contributing to the Gaza reconstruction efforts. The president hailed the successive international recognitions of the Palestinian state and appreciated the U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts to end the war. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and the Expatriates Badr Abdulati affirmed that Egypt remains committed to working with the international partners to implement the Arab Islamic Plan for early recovery and the reconstruction of Gaza. This came during Abdulati's participation in the meeting of the Communication Committee on Palestine. The foreign minister called on the countries participating in the meeting to support the Egyptian hosting of the International Conference on the Reconstruction of Gaza immediately after reaching a ceasefire. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati held a meeting with the Sudanese counterpart Muhyiddin Salim. The foreign minister asserted Egypt's firm stance supporting peace, security, unity, sovereignty and the territorial integrity of Sudan. The meeting also tackled water security, as both ministers confirmed the unified positions of both countries as downstream Nile states. They stressed the need for the full adherence to the international law in the eastern Nile Basin and totally rejected all the unilateral measures on the Nile River. Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdulati confirmed the Egyptian appreciation for its historical relations with Russia, which culminated in the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Agreement between both countries. This came during Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati's meeting with the Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly activities in New York. Abdulati stressed that there is cooperation with Russia on major projects, including the Doba nuclear power plant, the Russian Industrial Zone project in the Suez Canal Economic Zone, cooperation in the supply of wheat and grains, as well as in the fields of tourism and civil aviation. Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdulati met with the Angolan counterpart Tati Antonio, praising the remarkable development in the Egyptian-Angolan relations. The meeting tackled the means of enhancing bilateral relations and joint coordination on regional and international issues. Abdulati expressed the Egyptian aspiration to launch the meetings of the joint committee between the two countries. Also on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati convened with the Mozambican counterpart Maria Lucas. Foreign Minister Abdulati stressed the Egyptian keenness on enhancing bilateral relations with Mozambique, pointing that there is remarkable developments recently in various fields, especially in petroleum, mineral resources, electricity, renewable energy, health and irrigation sectors, as well as security and counter-terrorism. The Israeli occupation army killed at least 34 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip since dawn, including 23 in the northern main hub. Gaza City. This comes as the Israeli military presses the offensive in Gaza City, forcing the displacement of over 388,000 people since mid-August, according to the United Nations humanitarian agency, the OCHA. Palestinian medical sources said that several other Palestinians were injured in an air raid that targeted a school sheltering displaced people west of the central Nusayrat camp. Also in southern Gaza, the Israeli army launched 5 raids against the residential buildings in Khan Yunis. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, the Israeli aggression in Gaza since October of 2023 has killed 65,502, mostly children and women, and injured 167,367. British Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy told the General Assembly on Thursday that what is happening in Gaza is indefensible, inhumane, utterly unjustifiable and must end now. Britain joined the group of Western governments' recognitions of a Palestinian state that, including France, Canada, Australia and Portugal, pushed by the Israeli atrocities in Gaza. The Palestinian Authority welcomed on Friday the foreign fund pledges it said would help it keep government services going, while Israel withholds the tax revenues it collects on its behalf. Donor countries, including Saudi Arabia, Germany and Spain, pledged at least $170 million to finance the budget of the Ramallah-based Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority had sought $400 million a month for 6 months. U.S. President Donald Trump said that he will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank, which the Palestinians want for their state, along with Gaza and East Jerusalem. Trump addressed the topic after a phone call with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss resolving the Gaza conflict. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office that he will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank and affirmed he will not allow it, and it's not going to happen. The United Nations on Friday released an update of its database of companies with activities in the illegal Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank, listing 158 firms. Most of the listed companies were based in Israel and worked in 10 specific activities, including construction, surveillance, demolitions, and destruction of the agricultural land in settlements in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. The report called on the companies to take appropriate action to address the adverse human rights impacts of their activities. The UN Rights Chief, Volker Turk, has condemned the Israeli policy of settlements on Palestinian territory in the occupied West Bank as a war crime. International aid flotilla organizers said that it was set to leave Greek waters and head towards Gaza on Friday, defying warnings from Israel that it would use any means to block the boats' access to the enclave. The global Sumud flotilla is using about 50 civilian boats to try to break the Israeli naval blockade of Gaza. Its passage across the Mediterranean had raised international tension, especially after it said it was attacked by drones this week. No one was hurt, but Italy and Spain have dispatched naval ships to provide assistance to their and other European citizens on the flotilla. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said on Friday that Tehran would scrap an agreement to let the UN watchdog inspect its nuclear sites if Western powers reinstated the UN sanctions. A set of UN sanctions on Iran are due to be reimposed on Saturday after Britain, France and Germany accused Tehran of violating the 2015 deal with major powers aimed at preventing it from developing a nuclear weapon. The International Atomic Energy Agency had been trying to rebuild cooperation with Tehran and resume inspections of the nuclear facilities after Israel and the United States bombed the sites in June. The IRNA news agency said that Iran has signed a $25 billion agreement with the Russian state nuclear corporation Rosatom to build 4 nuclear power plants in Iran. Rosatom said that it signed the Memorandum of Understanding on the construction of small nuclear power plants in Iran without giving a number. South Korea's president said that Pyongyang is at the final stage of developing an intercontinental ballistic missile which could hit the United States with nuclear weapons. Lee Jae-myung said that North Korea has kept developing intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of carrying nuclear bombs to the U.S. Since taking office in June, Lee has reversed the stance of his predecessor and vowed to improve ties with North Korea. Minister of Finance Ahmed Kujak stressed the Egyptian keen interest in enhancing the bilateral cooperation with Germany in trade, economic and financial fields. The minister's remarks were made on the sidelines of his participation in the Egyptian-German Business Forum organized by the German Arab Chamber of Industry and Commerce held in Munich and Frankfurt. On the sidelines of the event, the Minister of Finance held a series of meetings with the international investment giants participating in the gathering with the aim of strengthening the economic ties with the world countries and creating new cooperation opportunities. During the meeting, Minister Kujak reiterated the Egyptian ongoing path towards implementing economic reforms and attracting private sector investments. And this brings us to the end of the news bulletin for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.